Good morning, class. So today we're going to be working with watercolors and trying out the watercolors. Now you can see these watercolors, they've been used a little bit. And sometimes people haven't been the best maybe about mixing out their colors. You see this color looks a little bit dirty. We're starting out with the more used watercolors. And if you guys do a really good job of keeping these as nice as possible, then we'll be able to move on to the nicer watercolors. But for right now, we're going to use these, and these actually have most colors. Blue is the one color I almost never have with watercolor because everybody uses it first, and then it always runs out. So blue we might not have as much watercolor of, but that'll be okay. We can use other colors. So the way you work watercolors, you have your water bucket. You dip your brush in the water gently, get it wet, and then you put it into whatever color you want to use. So I'm going to use yellow first, so I'm going to get it wet. And it looks like it still could use a little more water, so I'm going to dip it in, wipe it off the edge, and then get a little bit more water in there. Now, I'm not going like this and jabbing it. I'm being very gentle, rubbing my brush around a little bit, and then I want you to pick a section of your paper that's between some of the lines you drew and paint it in. And look at that nice soft yellow. Now if there's any other yellow spots I want to paint in, I can do that. I'm going to try to paint in different sections of my paper with different colors. So this zigzag line connected with this wavy line, so I painted that whole yellow area in. Now I'm switching to a new color, so I take my brush, I rub it gently on the bottom, I wipe it off on the side so there's no extra water. Ooh, not tapping it though. And now I might use red. Ooh, but my red's kind of dry, so I'm going to dip it in, get some water. If you don't dip it in the water, the paint doesn't work. Ooh, now my red's looking better. Let's see, maybe I'll paint in this big ol' area. I don't want you just spreading paint all over the place. Try to fill in different areas. Now what if I wanted to mix my red and my purple together? Do you think I should put my brush in here and then mix it together in the purple area? No! Why shouldn't I do that? Because then nobody else would have just a pure purple. It would be a reddish purple. You've got to never, ever mix the colors in here. The other people at your table will not be happy, and I will not be happy if you do. Instead, I'm going to put my purple on my paper. I mean, look, whenever I paint over my orange line, it stands out. You can see it stands out. That's because that's called wax resist. And look how I'm mixing my colors together. Sweet. So now I have a purplish red on my paper. So if you want to mix any colors together, you mix it on your paper. So maybe I'll fill in this area with a green and wash off my brush. I'm going to see what happens when I put yellow on top. Ooh, it becomes a yellowish green. You can keep on experimenting, filling in different areas, and then we'll let it dry. Remember the most important thing. Always rinse your brush between colors. I cannot go straight from yellow to green to blue to purple. Otherwise, all my colors are going to be messed up. Miss Rosell is going to show you an example of one that somebody used black and then didn't rinse off their brush. This is what happens when you don't rinse your brush. Does that look like very much fun to use? No. That looks like somebody ruined my watercolors, which makes Miss Rosell very, very upset if you are ruining her watercolors. So always rinse this in the water, rub it on the bottom, wipe it on the side every time you use a different color, okay? This is what's going to happen. We're not going to use watercolor. I have people on lists that are not allowed to use my watercolor, but I sure hope that list doesn't get any longer. Let's make sure it doesn't and do a great job today. First time with watercolor, this is going to be awesome. Let's do it.